Good morning, students. My name is Sigesh Kumar, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Sir Reddy College of Engineering. In the last class, we already discussed about the working of spark ignition engines and compression ignition engines. Uh, in this particular video, I would like to explain few topics like working of carburetor, different types of cooling systems, lubricating system, and engine performance parameters. So carburetor. So here you see uh, the schematic representation of simple carburetor. It is one of the important element in fuel supply system of spark ignition engines. The main function of carburetor is to produce air fuel mixture and send it into the combustion chamber with proportionate ratios. Uh, so before I'm going to explain the working of a simple carburetor, uh, first of all, how fuel system of the spark ignition system works is going to be explained here. So here the diagram is not shown to you, but I would like to explain orally. So initially the fuel which comes from fuel tank, in between there is different types of fuel filters. There the fuel can filter and contaminants are other impurities are uh, stopped there, and finally the fuel which enters into the this carburetor. So here in this we have a chamber. We call it as a float chamber. So here we have a needle valve. This needle valve opens when the fuel in the float chamber is less than this level which I am showing here. So once the level reduces, the fuel from this fuel tank comes into this float chamber, and here the needle valve automatically closes if uh, the fuel level in this float chamber reaches to this particular level. Okay, so next what happens here, the pressure of the fuel which comes from the fuel tank is more. Okay, here you see this is another part. It is the integral part of simple carburetor. Okay, so this is what we call it as venturi. Okay, here the area is very less. Okay, so when the fuel comes to this particular jet, okay, the fuel changes into small liquid droplets. Okay, so it is essential when air fuel mixture enters into the combustion chamber. So the fuel particles as well as air particles need to mix thoroughly and properly and maintain a proportionate ratio. Okay, for that, here we are providing a jet. Okay, when the fuel flows from this flow chamber to this jet, the pressure energy is changes to kinetic energy, and the fuel which comes from this particular point with a very high velocity. Okay, because of this high velocity, the liquid particles converts into small droplets. And here, this is entry for air which comes from atmosphere. Okay, so here this is the region we call it as venturi. In this region, the air plus fuel both are mixed, and the mixture enters into combustion chamber. There is throttle valve. Okay, the function of this throttle valve is depend upon the requirement, the quantity or proper ratio of air fuel mixture is to be maintained. Okay, this is how a simple carburetor works. Okay, now? So I hope you all understand. So this is one of the important element in petrol engine fuel supply system. Okay, I hope you all understand. This is the basic type of simple carburetor. So most of the automobile vehicles are used to equip. Apart from this simple carburetor, there are certain few carburetors also available in the market. Those are Genite carburetor, Solex carburetor, and electron unit carburetor like this. Depend upon requirement, we may able to choose different types of carburetor. This is how a simple carburetor works. Okay, I hope you all understood. So next we are moving to cooling system. There are different types of systems which are enabled to use in order to improve the performance of internal combustion engine, whether it is a spark ignition engine or uh, compression ignition engine. So these systems are essential. Okay, the first one is fuel supply system. Uh, Next one is lubricating system. Finally, cooling system. These are very important system apart from engine working. So next we move on to uh, cooling system. So how internal cooling system, sorry, particularly internal combustion cooling system works, and what are the different types of cooling systems we have. Uh, in this lecture, we'd like to explain. So here you see, these are the components. So what are the different types of components we have in simple carburetor? Already I'm explaining you. Float chamber, venturi, choke. Okay. So basically, the working of simple carburetor based on Bernoulli's principle. Here you see, this is venturi, where the pressure energy is converted into kinetic energy. Okay. So see, these are the necessity of cooling system. Why we are using cooling system in internal combustion engines means the cooling system is provided in the internal combustion engine for the following reasons. Okay, so the main thing is the temperature. During the combustion process, the temperature liberated inside the combustion chamber is uh, approximately 1500 degrees centigrade to 2000 degrees centigrade, which is basically above the melting point of the material of the cylinder body and cylinder head or other components uh, through which these parts can be manufactured. Okay, so if we use metals like aluminum, like cast iron, different types of alloys, they can withstand nearly this amount of temperature, approximately 2000 degrees centigrade temperature. So, due to this very high temperature, the film of lubricating oil will get oxidized, thus producing carbon deposits on the surface. This may result the engine seizures. So due to overheating of this large temperature difference may lead to destroy the engine too. Okay, so in order to avoid uh, these drawbacks are some of the disadvantages we have. So in order to overcome all these things, we have definitely cooling system in internal combustion engines. Okay, so these are some of the requirements. Before we are going to select a particular cooling system for internal combustion engines, some of the requirements. First one, the two main requirements. See here, first one, it must be capable of removing only about 30% of heat generated in the combustion chamber. Why I am saying 30% means if it is more than 30%, it may definitely affect on engine performance. So because of the reason, whatever the method we are using here to remove the overheat which is liberated in the combustion chamber, so uh, it needs to remove only 30% of the heat. Okay, too much removal of heat lowers the thermal efficiency of the engine, as we all know. Okay, and second requirement is it should remove heat as fast as possible. Okay, so that is heat dissipation is very faster. Okay, otherwise, so what happens if the heat dissipation is slow or heat transfer rate is slow? So most of the heat is accumulated within the components for a period of time. So it again leads to affect the performance of internal combustion engine. So that's the reason why we use the different types of methods in order to remove the heat in the combustion chamber. Okay. So now we see what are the types we have in order to remove the heat or excess amount of heat from the internal combustion engines. Oh, 1 minute. Sorry. So here you see different types of cooling systems we have. There are two types of, basically there are two types of cooling systems. We generally use it for internal combustion engines. If it is a light duty vehicle or moderate duty vehicles, we use basically air cooling system. If it is heavy duty vehicle or uh, water cooling system is enabled. Okay, so these are the two different types of systems. So generally, we use it in internal combustion engine. So if you see air cooling system, okay, so in this type of cooling system, the heat which is conducted to the outer parts of the engine is radiated, conducted away by the stream of air. So in this particular system, so the heat is removed with the help of stream of air, which is obtained from the atmosphere. There is no special mechanism is not required to send air over the components. So it is lightweight as well as it requires very less amount of space as well as economical too. So that's the reason why this kind of uh, cooling system is employed for two-wheelers or light duty vehicles. Okay, so if you see, this is how a air-cooled engine looks like. So here you see these are the fins. So these fins are provided at the outer surface of the internal combustion engine, so which helps us to remove the heat from internal combustion chamber to outer atmosphere because of these fins. So here the faster rates are employed because of these fins. Okay, when without fins, the heat dissipation is different, and after fins, the heat dissipation is different. Okay, so if you see the air circulated over the gaps which are provided in between these fins, and the heat which comes from the combustion chamber is removed as fast as possible because of these fins. Okay, so here the air which we have or which we require in order to cool this particular engine is obtained from the atmosphere only. Here we doesn't require any kind of special mechanisms in order to circulate air along this engine area. So if you see, this is a real time, a two-stroke or a four-stroke, we can employ for any kind of engine. Okay. So next, coming to some of the advantages of air-cooled engines. So air-cooled engines have the following advantages as well as some disadvantages also there. So first of all, we need to discuss here what are the advantages. I hope you all understand how an air cooling system is working. Okay, it is very essential, particularly in internal combustion engines. Cooling system play a vital role. Okay, so now apart from working, so here we have some advantages of air-cooled engines. What are the advantages? The design of air-cooled engine is very simple, as we already see in the previous slide. How it looks like. So the design of the internal combustion is very simple. At the same time, it does not occupy more amount of space. Okay, so here the design of air-cooled engine is as simple as possible. Okay, next coming to it is lighter in weight than water-cooled engines due to absence of water jackets, radiators, some other elements. Okay, next pumps also we don't have. So in order to circulate air, we doesn't need any pumps like devices. Okay, so it is cheap to manufacture. Okay, it is easy to manufacture. So simply we can fabricate with the help of a sand casting process most of the air cooled systems. Okay, so it need less care and maintenance. Okay, the system of cooling is particularly advantageous where there are extreme climatic conditions. Okay, so these are the some of the advantages we have uh, while using uh, air cooled engines. Next, coming to water cooling system. So similarly, like air cooling system, water cooling system is also used in different types of automobile engines where the amount of heat dissipation is more when compared to air cooled system. So basically, when compared to air cooling system, water cooling system serves two purposes. Okay, so I would like to explain what are the two purposes. Okay, it takes away the excessive heat generated in the engine and save it from overheating. Okay, usually we already discussed what is the main function of cooling system, which is employed in internal combustion engines, is to remove the excess amount of heat which is liberated in the combustion chamber due to liberation of heat. Okay, so the water cooling system is do the same thing as well as what air cooling system is also do the same thing. But what is the basic difference between these two? We will discuss in the later slides. Okay. Next, why we are using the water cooling system rather than air cooling system is it keeps the engine at working temperature for efficient and economical working. That is the very important thing which we need to observe why we using water cooling system. Okay, there are different systems we have. Okay, water cooling system, lubricating system. Why we employ all these things in this particular internal combustion engine is to run the engine with efficient manner. Okay, so this cooling system has four types of systems. And okay, first one is a direct or non-return system, thermosymphon system, Hopper system, and we have, and finally pump forced circulation system. These are the four different types of water cooling systems we generally use it in uh, internal combustion engine for cooling the engine from overheating. So here, so most of the internal combustion engines uses thermosimple uh, water cooling system in order to remove the heat from the internal combustion engines. Okay, so today in this lecture, we will see how a thermosimple water cooling system works. Okay, see here, this is the schematic representation of thermosymphon cooling system. So this is the four-stroke okay petrol engine or diesel engine we have here. So this is the cylinder portion, and this is the pump we have here. So these are the so thermostat valves, and these are upper tank, and here these are the radiator tubes, and here this is a lower tank, and here this is the drain tap. So this drain tap helps to remove the unwanted water from these tanks through these radiator tubes. So whenever the engine is overheated, okay, see here the water is circulated along this particular lines. Okay, so when the water is moving through these particular lines, what happens? The excess amount of heat which is liberated over these particular parts are absorbed by this water, and the water temperature increases. So before it enters into the okay, these pipelines or water jackets are provided here. So the water jackets temperature is very less before it enters into the combustion chamber outlet. Okay, so it does not enter in combustion chamber. So here this we are at the cylinder head portion. We are providing so water jackets along this particular cylinder area. Okay, whenever the water flows from this area to this region, so the heat from this cylinder walls are absorbed by the water, and which is transferred into the upper tank. Due to the density difference, this cold water again transferred into this line, and hot water comes to down. Okay, so this is the process how a water cooling system or thermosimple water cooling system particularly we say, so it is work. So the main thing is the water which is circulated through these water jackets along the cylinder head portion. So it removes water. Okay. Along with that, we have here a fan. This is a radiator fan. So this what happens? This radiator fan helps to remove the heat from this hot water, make it to cool. By this way, so the water cooling system is used to remove heat from the internal combustion. Okay, so I hope you all understand what is the cooling system, what are the advantages of cooling system, what are the requirements of a good cooling system, and different types of cooling systems generally used in internal combustion engines. Okay, so that's it for today. So tomorrow we will discuss about different types of lubricating system which are used in internal combustion engines. Thank you.